the last time your offering got respect? See, you're the ones I'm talking to. When was the last time did your offering get respect? So when we begin to go here, he says, bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, not storehouses, but into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. What is that meat? The meat of revelation. One of the prophetess in the chat room, prophetess Alice Jackson, says, I pay where I eat. I seed where I eat. Where are you eating? So your tithe belongs into the storehouse. That there may be the meat in mine house. What is that meat? The meat of revelation. There's a revelatory experience God wants to bring you into. But if you don't bring the tithe into the storehouse, you shut the door of revelation that can be imparted unto you. Prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. The only time when God asks you to prove me, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Can I tell you, you can be so filled with ideas where God begin to pour you out, where there's not enough room for you to receive, for anything to receive you, because you're so large in ideas. But read on Prophetess Cynthia. Let's see more of the promise.
And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground.
Now, this is very interesting, and what a dichotomy. I guess that could be the right word. That the first time we see the tithe spoken, Abel gets killed for his tithe. And you almost wonder if God begins to make a covenant with Abel's blood. That says you've got to do something as a promise for those that tithe.
Wow.
Because when you become a tither, you're going to provoke jealousy in those that don't keep the tithes.
Jesus.
Oh, listen to me here today.
Jesus.
Amen.
Let's go on back to Genesis 4 there. It says, 4 and verse 7, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. He slew him over the covenant, over the tithe and the offering. Are you working with me?
Yeah.
The law of first mention.
That's right.
We see the first time tithing is actually demonstrated. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Verse 10, Genesis 4:10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now thou cursed. Now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Non-tithers now will become cursed from the earth. You are cursed. Not only are you just cursed, but then you're cursed with a curse.
Wow. Double curse.
And I want to say something else here, which might be taking it out here on the edge. The brother's blood crying from the ground is the place where harvest comes from. Here, it is letting us know that now when we come back to Malachi 3, he wants you to know now, after I've looked at Abel, I want you to know I'm going to cover you. Because the depth of your tithe is going to produce jealousy in your loved ones. And so he says, read verse 11 for me again.
And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts.
I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. Why? Because I saw the first incident where my man tithed. And the devourer rose up in the field to slay him in the place where the harvest is created.
Wow.
So when I step out to tithe, God has already promised me now in Malachi, he has my back.
That's right.
And then he says, and all nations shall do what?
Call you blessed.
Call you blessed. For you shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Now let me just say this. Don't believe the pack of lies that tell you you should not give in an economic crisis. You have no other choice but to give. And so we begin to see Cain is punished. And we see this now. Let's go back to Genesis 4 and verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Let me tell you something. When you are a non-tither, you stay on the run. You stay on the run. Now, let me get ready and close this. In Malachi 3, it tells us, all nations shall call you blessed. When was the last time a nation called you blessed?
Wow.
This is the covenant of a tither. The question is, when was the last time your offering was respected? Well, I have to go. I want to thank you. I hope you got something out of today's teaching. Prophet Deborah, you think people will understand now that tithing is a system?
Yes, Master Prophet, most definitely. This teaching tonight is powerful. I mean, telling you can't divide your seed, because some people, they thought they was doing something great. Well, I have my own church I'm giving a little bit to, and I'm giving to Zoe Ministries, or I'm giving over here, but it must be the whole. You can't divide the tithe because it's holy. It must be given at a designated place, the storehouse of the Lord.
Brother Colin Harrison writes in the chat room, my God, non-tithers are fugitives. What do you think about that, Prophet Miola? Non-tithers are fugitives.
Wow.
I agree. You know, when you are out of the will of God, you're running, you're hiding, and you can't run from yourself. You can't run from that connection. So I believe, Master Prophet, that this teaching has been an eye-opening, and I believe it's